This is why Glenn thinks the economy won't be better in 2022. That's the name of this, the title of this video. This is why Glenn Beck thinks hi, CSL. This is why he thinks the economy's not going to be better next. Now, I'm sure this is well thought out, and it's a caller calls in, I think, on this one, if I'm not mistaken. Because he has his earpiece in. We'll see.
Let me go to Susan in Ohio. Hello, Susan. Welcome to the Glenn Beck program.
By the way, they're playing like happy chirpy music, and his normal logo stuff that goes on in the background now has snow falling in it. Understand that according to him, there are still people trapped in Afghanistan, and that the United States is coming to a close. Our democracy is dead. We have fallen under a weak leader. 10 months in, America's just stick a fork in her. We're over. The world economy is going to collapse. The World Economic Forum is going to try and reset. The Great Reset is going to reset the reset button of the reset of our economy and reset everything. And yet, still had time to tell his staff to pay somebody to make a Christmas logo, version of the logo.
Hello. Hey, I just would. While I'm concerned about the inflation and the impact it has on me this year.
Yeah.
I'm really concerned about the effects of inflation on the middle class families as it begins to take away all their assets, all the generational growth.
Yeah.
And I think we don't talk enough about that.
No, we don't. We don't.
Things immediate.
Why?
But I would like just please talk a little bit more about the loss.
Yeah, please talk out of your ass a little more about let's see, hold on. Why I know this year's bad. It doesn't, and it feels strangely okay, even though it's worse. And thanks for telling me it's actually worse than I think it is, even though I'm not feeling how bad it is. And obviously you have time to make Christmas graphics, even though the world is coming to an end.
Family farms and businesses and what happens from one generation to the next.
Right. I think
family farms handing them from one generation to the next. Okay.
That those are not solely tied to inflation. Inflation will your nest egg will go away, because if your salary doesn't go up with inflation, then you're going to have to start dipping into your savings, so your savings go.
And salaries are going up for the first time in ages. And part of the reason why inflation is happening is because people have more money on hand, and people the world over aren't doing as well as America's doing. So the cost of other goods are going up because they want a slice of that pie.
If we start working in a world where, as the president keeps saying, well, you've got to pay your people more. If you do that in a high inflation period, which we are.
Yeah, it's terrible. If you pay more people more money, if wages go up.
Now, if you do that, you start the inflation spiral. Wages go up, and thus prices continue to go up. And so you're constantly.
Well, that's if you keep on the same amount of staff for, what you're paying them. It could be that you have fewer people working, and therefore there's a compensatory effect on prices that's caused by the rise of wages, because if you've got 5 waiters working at a place at $8 an hour or $6 an hour plus tips, and then you go to $15 an hour and you can only afford 3 because you're a family-run restaurant, there's 2 people who are unemployed now, and they've got to find another job. Now, while they might be able to find another $15 minimum wage job, that's probably going to be hard for them to do, and therefore you're going to have more people out of the job market, which doesn't seem to be happening, which kind of throws a monkey wrench into his entire argument. But you're going to have those people will compensate by not having a job on the prices. So you can't run the prices up so high that 2-person households where one person is working at a higher wage and the other person stays home, the amount of money that they have to use on 2 people worth of food, for example, balances itself out.
That's why when you ordered food in a restaurant in Germany, you paid for it when you ordered. I would like a cup of coffee, please. It's a quarter. Great.
Yes. When you ordered coffee in a restaurant in Germany, in English, it was a quarter. They used American money back during Nazi Germany.
And that's going to happen. But when it comes to losing your family.
Is the inflation spiral going to happen, or is the Fed announced that they're going to taper and raise interest rates over time, and that they've announced that, and they're going to be doing it over a quarterly and we know that this will have an effect on inflation. And the biggest problem product-wise that we have going into next year is actually deflation from overproduction once things get back up and running, because our inflation is not caused by a lack of money, it's caused by lack of production and
farm. That's more than just inflation. You're going to lose farms because people can't afford it. But there are things that are going on in the United States.
First of all, he's looking, I don't know, are his lies written on the fucking ceiling? You're going to lose your farm because things are going to be more expensive. There's got to be some sort of something going on. Let's see what has Biden done for this thing. Hold on. Here we go. There we go. Oh, Biden signed an executive order. This is from a Modern Farmer, clearly a left-wing radical magazine online. Farm, food, lifestyle, news, and shop. Well, you can buy stuff from Modern. Oh, that's good. Supply chain crunches are affecting every corner of agriculture. 7 smokable plants you can grow that aren't marijuana. Look out. How to actually get rid of fruit flies. Finally, pardon me while I bookmark. What Biden's new executive order means for agriculture. This is July 12, 2021. The wide-ranging document aims to boost competition and review monopolies across a handful of industries. Late last week, President Joe Biden signed his 52nd executive order since taking office in January. Promoting competition in the American economy is a wide-ranging document that focuses on fair... Hold on, let me blow this up for you guys so it can be a little bigger. Shrink down into this. Put this over here and shrink this down a little bit. Pardon me while there you go. Executive order, farmers have to weather consolidated markets, for instance, from seed companies and meatpacking monopolies, as well as concentrated markets for selling their products. As a result, the order says that farmers' share of the value of their agricultural projects has decreased, and poultry farmers, hog farmers, cattle ranchers, and other agricultural workers struggle to retain autonomy and make sustainable returns. From the right to repair equipment to access to markets, the president's order looks to broaden competition in several agricultural areas. Review of the Packers and Stockyards Act, 100-year-old act, was designed to prevent market manipulation and protect producers from unfair practices in the meat market. The USDA will now review the act and, let me slide this over, and look at strengthening and further enforcing against practices the department sees as unjustly deceptive, discriminatory, or unreasonable. The order specifically calls out prohibitive practices related to grower ranking systems, which it says gives companies too much control over farmers' wages and force producers to take on too much risk. Secretary of Agriculture Tom Vilsack said in a press conference, the act is a vital tool, but the law is 100 years old and needs to take into account the modern market dynamics. It should not be used as a safe harbor for bad actors. The North American Meat Institute is opposed to the review, saying it will bring about unintended consequences from producers and consumers. These proposed changes will open the floodgates for litigation that will ultimately limit livestock producers' ability to market their livestock as they choose. Down here at the bottom, though, let me see. Expanding access to markets. This is for smaller farmers. President Biden has ordered the report to be completed within the year on the effect of retail concentration and its impact on food industries. Along with the Federal Trade Commission, the USDA will look at improving the access of... What's this? What's this right here? Why would it... Improving the access of small farmers and food processors to retail markets. They'll also study the market structure of beer, wine, and spirits to reduce barriers of access. That's for your local, smaller distilleries and breweries. The goal is to make it easier for small producers to compete with larger companies and welcome new producers into the industry. Small farmers and producers. These are what you would call family farms that get bought by giant big agriculture and put out of business. Now, could Trump have done something like this? Yeah, he could have. Did he? No. But I'm sure Glenn will tell that to Susan.
and the government that are going to take those family farms. They are going to start limiting those farms. They're going to start regulating those farms. They're going to
based on fucking what? Look at this asshole. Literally just making this up. Just fucking making it up. Talking out of his ass.
Them to death. Remember, the goal of the Great Reset is by 2030, you will own nothing.
The Great Reset again. Fucking hell. Man, come on now. There is a Great Reset. We all got to be warned about it. They gonna come take my farm.
Well, how do you get a society that is built on ownership, private ownership?
How do you
get that society to not own anything? You bank?
Yeah, it's terrible. You got to steal it. You got to take it. You got to have the revenuer come and take your farm away from you. All I tried to do was have a still in the barn making weed juice for it's a smokable beverage. I invented it myself.
That's what you do. You bankrupt it.
Oh, that's terrible. Oh my God, that poor woman. Bye, Susan. Hope you don't do anything horrible because you think the world's coming to an end. But thanks for telling her the truth, Glenn.
Your phone call, Susan.
So where do you see the economy going here?
What do you?
For example.
Oh, it's already terrible. It's just going to get worse. I mean, you realize with inflation how much it costs to get a snow on a TV? You used to get it for free when I was a kid. You just, at a certain time of night, you could just turn on the TV, fucking snow. Now he's got to pay some asshole in his office like dozens of rubles or whatever the fuck Bitcoin he uses to pay his bills. He's got to pay him a bunch of shit just to do that stuff. Look, he's had to use snow to make his mic stand.
One of the things that I don't think a lot of people are talking about.
Wait a minute, Stu, how come your rim is black and his is? What's he trying to say?
Is since COVID started, the Trump administration basically turned off the requirement to pay your student loans. And they said, okay, we're in the middle of a pandemic. You don't have to.
Did they? The Trump administration did that. They did. I thought the Democrats in the House made that shit happen. Now I don't know how to feel. I used to hate it. Now that I know Trump did it, I gotta like it. But I don't. Shit.
Your student loans right now, turn the interest rates down to 0. Let's ride this out.
Right.
And so that's been extended multiple times by first the Trump administration and then into the Biden administration. Biden is now saying that come next year, it's over. Right? I think it's January.
That's right. He's shutting it off. And the only reason he's doing that is because Trump did it after the Democrats did it in that bill. I'm confused. Y'all smell almonds?
You're now going to have to start making those payments a lot again.
Holy shit. I had no idea that Glenn Beck still had college debt. I would have thought he'd have paid that off before getting the giant name wall. Priorities, my man, priorities.
Think about all the money that people owe and they've had this ramp of not paying it. Now these payments turn back on in the middle of a very disconcerting economic time. So that turns.
Oh yeah, believe me, it is disconcerting. It's so disconcerting that nobody went to Trump and O'Reilly's concert. And they even did. I thought they were going to do Free Bird.
Inflation is there. All of this backlog with the supply chain.
I heard, by the way, I'm concerned about inflation because I heard that Joe Rogan could blow himself. Are those two related? I'll take my call off the air.
All working together at the same time. What does that look like?
A mess.
It's going to be terrible. Tell them what it is, Glenn. It's going to be awful. Bring out the chalkboard, son.
That's why you're not hearing anybody saying, oh, well, this year's been bad, but next year will be better.
Right. There's no way. I can't wait for 2022.
You're not hearing that. And I think that's because.
Yeah, I mean, it's all like you you're obviously not going to hear that from people because, you know, there's a lot of scratch to be made thinking next year's going to be shitty. If you're going to do your sell whole and buy low, no, sell holes, sell high, buy holes. I forget how it works. You do that math shit so well, Glenn.
No, you've got something else that you have to pile on here. People are going to be watching.
Oh boy. Oh boy. And that's between the two of you gentlemen, that's quite a pile.
The Fed decides to do this week, because the Fed has to raise interest rates and they also have to taper. And what they've been doing,
raise interest rates and taper at the same time. Can't they just keep their jeans the same cut and just either open one button or wear suspenders?
We've been telling you this since 2008.
Tell me.
What they've been doing is...
I will say, consistency being the hobo goblin of something nobody minds. I will say, in Glenn Beck's defense, he has been saying the same shit since 2008, even if it ain't happened. Come on. How many of you out there would stick to your answer that long? Somebody asked you a question, asked for your prediction, and then you give an answer, and it doesn't happen a year later, and it doesn't. Because we had a preacher who came through our church, and he said the world's going to come to an end on Y2K. And then Y2K came and went, and he's like, actually, my bad, I did the math all wrong. It's going to happen in 2012. So we kept paying them. Everybody kept shining his shoes. We all kept going to church. 2012 rolls around. Shit don't happen. Woke up the next day, birds are chirping, all this shit. And I was like, when is this motherfucker going to pony up? When's the world going to end? So we went down there and we found him dead. Had a fucking heart attack right in the house we had to go to the church, pay for this son of a bitch to have. Died in the house we gave him. And I was like, well, I guess his prediction about the end of the world was just what they call hyper-localized. They've
been buying our federal debt, okay? Instead of selling it to countries, no country will buy it. So the Fed has...
They won't. Why won't they buy it? Don't they have more money than us? I heard they did.
Buying that debt, which just adds to their balance sheet. Then they've been printing money as well, and they...
Do they use like a... Where would, if you wanted to print some money, where would you get one of them printers? Asking for a friend with, how do I put this? Zero college debt.
Shipping that money to the banks. And the banks have been using it to buy stocks.
That's what it is. They've been shipping the money to these banks. That's why everything's so slow. We got supply chain problems because it's difficult to get these ships full of money to the banks over land. That makes so much sense now.
Everything else, so they can put their balance sheet in order.
Right.
You have had these bailouts going on, really.
I would like to say for the record, you do not sound like you are just making this shit up at all. I just want to say that. I want to go on record that this does not sound like a bunch of bullshit. It does not seem like you're trying to impress your friend while you're sitting there in your Tim Apple outfit.
Since 2008, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
They're
hey, no offense, but ain't our economy doubled since then? I mean, that's probably bad though, ain't it? Like we had like our economy made $10 trillion, and now it makes like 24. That's probably bad. That's a bad thing, right? Tell me how that's a bad thing. Me and Susan from Ohio.
All of that now.
By the way, Hi, Susan. How you doing? Do you like a man with the occasional knot in his hair?
Which means they're turning that tap of cash.
I ain't gonna hold on, goddammit. I ain't gonna eat chip. Worry, don't simmer down. Listen, if I tried to bite that cat, he could escape through my teeth. You know it and I know it.
That's really flowing into the market. So they have to turn that off. When they turn that off, that's going to cause problems with the bank. It's going to cause problems in the stock market. It's going to cause...
Dear God, do you have lice? Why are you scratching? Is that what that is flicking around behind you? Do you have bugs? Is your scalp itching? What's causing that? I think you got... I'd watch out for them things. They look like biters.
Kinds of problems because the money flow from the Fed, not the federal government, from the Fed.
No.
Is
right. Not the Fed. Wait. The Fed and the federal government are different? How do they wear different shirts? How am I supposed to tell them apart? Motherfucker.
Bring off. Then they're going to also raise interest rates, which they have.
Oh, no. You already mentioned that.
To do. The way you fight inflation is to raise interest rates.
Right. And they're already as high as they can possibly go right now. Interest rates are already through the roof. They don't got any room to wiggle. It's not like they're, 0.025% or something like that. They're way up into 7. It's like 1971 numbers.
No one on earth has ever tried to suck this much money back into the system. Get it back.
Except Joe Rogan. And apparently there's video.
To the Federal Reserve and the Treasury so it can be destroyed. No one in the history of the world has ever tried that.
Well, in their defense, there wasn't a Fed 200 years ago. I mean, does Jesus driving the moneylenders out of the temple count? I'm so confused.
1980, Paul Volcker got our interest rates up to, I think, 15, or I believe the highest was 19. It might have been 15, but I believe it was.
Well, we're higher than that right now.
19%. 19%. We are now at about 3%. You want a mortgage? 3%. You need a loan for your small business? 3%. 5%. 8% if you're in real, bad way. 19%?
Well, that I feel fucking seen.
That was in 1980. What is it going to take to get those?
I remember, hey man, I remember 1980. You know what I'm saying? That was a good year. I'm just saying. I met this girl once. It's hard to. I'm gonna need I need another thumb to show you. 1980 was good or whatever. I was a young man, had half as many teeth as I do right now, but it was a good time.
Interest to get this inflation down after dumping $11 trillion out into the world. We have to suck that all back. The problem is,
well, I would ask Stu for help. If you've ever seen him eat a boiled egg, you will know what I'm talking about.
When you suck all of that stuff back, it makes...
And by the way, if anybody knows sucking, it's Glenn Beck. Let me tell you, this man is an expert. Okay? He's a former pert. Yeah.
Scarce. That will make inflation go down. Okay? Then you worry about a deflationary period where people...
Oh, not deflation. Now what's going to happen? And then so you'll have to get a whole new talking point next year? This is getting expensive.
Afford anything, so the prices cave. This is an incredible balance that I'm not sure they can do, and we're doing it at the...
We're doing it. You're doing it. Tell them.
Worst possible time.
Oh, no.
Because we've made things so bad that if you don't have people who are willing to work, you're going to have inflation. If you then add extra salary to people to get them.
Yeah. If you pay people to work, that's the beginning of your troubles. I'm starting to think Glenn Beck wants to return to a pre-1850 economy, if and you know what I'm talking about.
Work. That adds inflation. Then if you take the money from the corporations through loan.
Dude, I would like to reiterate, this does not look like you are talking shit. You don't look like you are over your head in this conversation at all. It sounds everything like you have the best numbers. This is so good, man. I'm glad we have an expert who doesn't have panicked eyes making a lot of weird hand gestures that would normally make you feel like, hey, this dude's full of shit. This is the one case where behavior like this does not indicate a man who is talking out of his colon.
To build new jobs and to expand, jobs start to become more and more scarce. And you're just in.
Yeah. You know what? You don't pay. Thank you, Glenn, for finally bringing this up. Somebody's got to talk about this. If we reach like 1.2% unemployment, who's going to be unemployed? Who's going to employ all the people who work at the unemployment office? What are they going to do? What happens to them? This has got to be stopped.
Cycle that just spins into the drain. I think we're in for real trouble over the next year to, I think it could be until a Republican gets back into power.
Yeah, probably. So 4 years of hell. The Bible says 7 fat years and 7 lean years. Obviously, I am in a different cycle of years than you and Stu. I guess it ain't all at the same time.
And we have a sane Senate and House, and I'm not saying that's a Republican one. It's just more sane than the Democrats.
Well, I don't know how you... Wait a minute. We have to have a sane government by your standards before we'll be all right again? Sorry, pack it up. America's fucked. I guess so. Let's go. We got to get out of here. Too much. Can't do it.
Doing the right thing consistently and our...
Come on! Do the right thing. Baby, do the right thing. Come on, do the right thing. Sing it, everybody. Baby, do the right thing. I know we're at opposite ends. And I know we may never be friends, me and Glenn. But all I'm saying... look past what you see, meaning my teeth, and you'll find that you're not so different from me. Like I'm missing teeth and you're missing brain cells, but we could find a place to join together. You understand? Sing it.
To accept the pain that is coming from all of these horrible decisions, it's just going to keep getting worse.
I'm worried about Sue in Rockville, wherever the hell that woman was calling from now. So we all need to head to Ohio with a pillow. Son of a bitch. I'm just glad that I had somebody as smart as you to walk me through all this, because I find it very hard. See, I was under the impression that inflation caused by supply issues is different than overprinting of money based on available goods in terms of economic trends, and that you have to read that into year over year percentage changes in the inflation index, and you got to weigh it against what was happening the year before, especially like last year when nothing was fucking happening and nobody was going nowhere. But you told me I was way off. Son of a shit. It's weird going back to my own face after this.